Hey, Emma here from Team Living Your Dream. And today in the 7 Minute Success Secrets, I'm going to be following on from what I was talking about yesterday when I was on the train back from southwest of the UK. Anyway, I wanted to talk about habits. If you remember yesterday, I was saying that my vlog was about how I get the excuses all the time from people of I haven't got enough time or I haven't got enough money to do the things I want to do. And what I talked about was really it comes down to changing your habits. We all develop habits that are unhelpful to our lives, and actually what's going we nurture these habits for years and years and years, and what's going on in our mind is as we repeat the same action over and over again, we start to build neural networks in our mind which nurture that habit. If you like, I've heard them described as with grooves, brain grooves, where you just slip into that groove every time. If you imagine you're going along a track in your car, and perhaps it's a bit muddy and slippery, and you're going along and you're trying to stay out of the muddy deep tracks, but eventually your wheels slip into them, and it's easier to drive along where everybody else has driven or where you've been driving for years than it is to try and form a new path. So we slip back into those habits, and our brain develops the habit network, and our mind, our primitive brain, our negative brain, is only interested in one thing, and that's your survival. And how it thinks is, and how it deals with habits is, it believes that if you did something yesterday and you survived, it'll encourage you to do it again today, which is why you feel compelled quite often to follow habits that intellectually are bad. Smoking is a really, really good example. Intellectually, we know that smoking is bad for us and bad for our health, but we get compelled to doing it, and that's because we don't smoke from our intellect. We smoke from this primitive but habit-forming part of the brain, which goes, well, you did that yesterday, you did that last time you were stressed, you did that last time you were excited, you did that last time you were drinking. Therefore, it must be a survival tactic for those circumstances. Do it again. And this is what is going on behind our habits. So, we might do things that we know aren't great habits, and we will have many of them, and we will have nurtured them for years and years and years. So they become quite deeply ingrained in our mind and in our daily routine of what we do. And if you don't approach it from the right way, changing these habits can appear quite difficult. But when you do it the right way, you just need to nurture your new, healthy, progressive, touch the thing is wobbling, success-orientated habits, and they will stick, and you will form these new grooves in your brain. You will form new neural networks that your brain goes, did that yesterday, we survived, let's do it again. What's more, your brain will get excited about doing it because did that yesterday, got a great reward, you must do it again. So when we have a good feeling from achieving something or something great's happened, your brain will want to do it again. You know how that works with motivation. I'm sure you've had it. You practice something, maybe it's shooting a goal, or I don't know, maybe you've had a windfall from an investment that you've practiced and you've studied for, or something great happens. You feel really good and you feel fired up and you just want to go out and do it again, or you want to repeat that behavior. Your brain loves good rewards. It creates neurotransmitters and chemicals in your brain called, the main one is called dopamine, for reward, but also serotonin. And serotonin is massively, massively important to our health, our mental health, everything. Okay, so basically, what I'm saying is, if you want to get rid of an old habit that your brain has decided this is some sort of like survival tactic, even though your intellect's going, don't be silly. Oh no, how is sitting down on the sofa and watching TV all evening helping me survive? Or how is smoking helping me survive? How is opening and drinking a bottle of wine every night helping me survive? Your intellect knows this stuff, but your intellect isn't in control with these habits. Your primitive brain is. But you can use the power of your intellect, this thing that we've been given as humans, and to reshape your unconscious habits. And that's to think of things in a positive light, okay? Now, I know that sounds really simple, but what happens is when people are trying to eliminate old habits, they think of it in terms of what they can't do. They think of it negatively. They think of what they are taking out of their life. Okay, and I mean the same. Okay, dieting, absolute classic. If you're trying to live a healthier lifestyle, a healthier diet, what many people do is they count what they can't have. Oh, I can't have chocolate, I can't have crisps, I can't have cake, I can't do this. And they make themselves thoroughly miserable. Now, when they do that and think in the negative way, they put themselves in the part of their brain, this primitive brain, that goes, what did I do yesterday to survive? Oh, I ate chocolate. Therefore, I've got to eat chocolate again today. And all you can think about is chocolate, chocolate, chocolate until you give in and you go and have it because you want to slip back into the groove that your brain's gone. You've got to do this to survive, okay? So what do you do instead? You don't take things out. You put things in and you think of things in a positive light. You decide, first of all, say it's a time thing or a money thing. You decide what's going to go, right? But the other thing, if you take something out of your life, or if you take something out and you don't fill that hole with something, you're going to fall back in it because your brain's just going to keep going, the chocolate, or it's going to go TV. It's going to keep reminding you, it's going to subconsciously keep telling you that that's what you're supposed to be doing right now, okay? So put something positive that you get something out of back in the place of that. Your brain will love it. It's distracted. It forgets about that old thing that was survival. It gets a reward from it. And it's far more likely to keep you on track with your new positive habits. Okay, so say one that you're trying to break. You're trying to create more time in your life. You're trying to develop your success habits. Okay, let's take one as an example. Right, watching TV in the evening. Okay, and what I want you to do is think of it in terms of what could I be doing instead that I would really enjoy, that I would get something out of. Now, maybe it's spending time with your kids, going and reading them a story, going out with them, depending on how old your children are, doing something with them, taking them out on the bike in an evening, if the evenings are nice, getting nice and light with you, or going somewhere else out with them. We have this whole third of a day that we don't do anything with. If you have your normal, like you go to work or you go out during the day, we tend to think of it as morning, I do this. Afternoon, I do this. After the work, I do nothing. But actually, you've got as many hours in the evening as you have in your morning or your afternoon. It's a whole third of the day you're not doing anything with. Now, if you could fill that up with things that you enjoyed, which were for your benefit, that you got a reward from, like seeing your kids or going out to see friends, going to see friends or family on the way home from work, sitting and reading a personal development book or studying something, you could potentially have 4 hours to study a new skill, get new qualifications, learn stuff. If you are filling the time that you're taking out for a bad habit, if you fill it with things that you enjoy, things that you're excited about, these are what is going to form your new habits and are going to fill that time and make that a long life habit. I remember that I didn't discover learning and self-development until I was, I think, about 42. You know, how ridiculous is that? You know, I did what many people do, is I left school, well, at my age, which I'm 50 this year. I left school at 16, which the age I am is when you generally left school, unless you were, you know, particularly academic. It was only really a very small percentage of people who went on to university. Okay, so generally you left school and went to college, or you did on-the-job training and that sort of stuff. So I hated school, couldn't wait to get out. First thing I did as soon as I could was leave and get a job, right? So actually I hadn't learned, and because of my experience at school was particularly horrendous, I hated it. I wasn't interested in going to study and learn more stuff again. I hadn't gotten onto that secret. And so I didn't do any learning again until I was in my 40s, which is absolutely ridiculous. But once I did, I discovered just how exciting learning is, how much you get from it, how much it develops your life, okay? And how much, you know, you can learn whatever you want to learn, and you always can. It's just your interest and your passion. Anyway, I digress. What I'm basically saying is, you want to change habits, don't just take out the old habit that you know isn't serving your life and isn't working towards your success or your progress or changing anything you want to. Take out the habit. You can do it, but fill it with something pleasurable, something you enjoy, something that's going to give you that reward, that shot of dopamine, that shot of serotonin, your feel good neurotransmitters. So you will want to do it again and again and again, and you can form new habits. And it's surprisingly easy and surprisingly quick when you do it the right way. So, been Emma, I've rambled on a bit. This is supposed to be the 7-minute success secrets. I think I've gone on far longer than that, but until tomorrow, I shall speak to you soon. Bye.